What's up, man?
Hey, dude. How's it going?
Good, good. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Super excited to be here.
So, U.S. military veteran,
Yes, sir.
spent 9 years in the U.S. Army, yes?
Just under 9 years.
Okay.
Yep, almost
Awesome.
9.
And what did you do in the military?
Started out as a combat engineer. Ended
Okay.
up in doing human intelligence work a little
Okay.
bit, and then went counter intel.
Oh, awesome. So
Yeah.
that is a vast array of things in your military experience right there.
Yeah, I did a lot.
Oh, man.
It was fun. Loved it.
And now an author,
Yeah.
recently published a book,
That's right.
Sidekick. So tell us a little bit about Sidekick.
Sidekick is a pregnancy field guide for dudes. You know, you're a vet.
That's
You get-
right.
In the military, everything has a field guide.
Right.
Everything.
Absolutely.
If you got to ever do it, there's a field guide, and that field guide's full of bullet points and pictures and everything.
Gotta have pictures.
You gotta have pictures.
Can't be the Army if you don't have a diagram to show how to do it.
Diagram. So I set out to help myself is what happened. So my wife gets pregnant, and she says, she peed on the stick,
Mm-hmm.
and we got those indicators, and I thought, well, now what am I going to do? Just
Right.
like everybody else, right?
Right.
We planned for it. We were excited about it, but we weren't. I mean, you can't prepare fully.
Right.
So I thought, oh, cool. And then she tells me, but we can't tell anybody. I'm like, what? What do you mean can't tell anybody?
Right.
So my sister had just gone through a miscarriage,
Okay.
and that is, very traumatic. It can be very, very hard for people.
Right.
And unfortunately, like a lot of people do, they announce their pregnancy and then they have a miscarriage.
Right.
And that's what happened with my sister. And so what I wanted to do, it was our strategy was, well, let's wait. There's a line in the sand for those of you that don't know.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 13-week mark.
Right.
That, it's like 50-something% of pregnancies fail before 12 or 13 weeks. So
Right.
So I decided, well, okay, we're going to wait. And my wife said, yeah, we're definitely going to wait. She was a school teacher at the time.
Okay.
So she's dealing with morning sickness and showing up late.
Mm-hmm.
She's the tardy one. Right?
That's right. That's right.
It was hilarious. That's a different story. So I started doing what every millennial dad does, is I got online.
Right.
Right? I started watching YouTube videos, and I started reading forums and reading blogs and listening to podcasts. I did whatever I could do to figure out how to help my wife through this situation, what best I could do to be there for her, and all of that stuff. And what ended up happening is I started journaling, right? I had this notebook just like this one, and I started taking notes, and I'm like, this thing happened today, and this was funny, and I didn't know how to deal with that. What am I going to do here?
Right.
If this ever happens again, right? No, I'm an intel guy, right? So
That's right.
I'm always writing stuff down. I'm always collecting information. Information is to be exploited, right? It is useful, even if it's completely random. It will come up again in the future.
Yep.
So I'm taking notes. I'm writing all this stuff down. I'm back in school. She's pregnant. She's teaching school. And the information that I'm finding online at the time that I found was all really negative.
Mm.
Like really negative.
Right.
And what I found was that so many dudes out there are playing the victim card. There's this really strong victim mentality out there among men. And I thought, wow, I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be a whiner.
Absolutely not.
Right? Like, let's complain.
Mm-hmm.
There's a time and a place for complaining.
Right.
I know that. You're a vet.
That's right.
It's okay to complain.
Yeah.
Right? So, but that doesn't mean that needs to translate into my actions, and that needs to reflect the way I feel.
That's right.
And handle myself. So I thought, there's got to be a better way to do this, guys. There's got to be a more noble way to approach pregnancy and to get through it, at least survive pregnancy.
Right.
So I started taking these notes and writing it down. We announced our pregnancy, and everything was just fine, thank heaven, and everything was good to go. We moved on. But as I just kept taking notes the whole time, right? Even though I could now talk to my dad, and I could talk to my family members and her friends and the friends we had that had children.
Right.
I took their advice and I put them in my book. And I said, well, now it's shifted. It's what can I use in the future? Maybe we'll go get pregnant again. I don't know.
Right.
But I want to be able to look back. And then because so many funny situations happened, I thought, wow, maybe this would be a keepsake for my kids. Maybe
Right.
they'll get pregnant one day.
Right.
And they'll go back and read about how it was for mom and dad or grandma, grandpa, or whatever, you know.
Exactly.
So I would share these stories with people and they'd laugh or they'd say, wow, that's really true. Like, people did not tell me that was going to be that way, but it was that way, and nobody had ever brought it to my attention or whatever. And so it ended up turning into a book is what happened. And so now it's this awesome book, and I loved it.
Right.
And it's been tons of fun.
Now, where can you find your book currently? I know Amazon, obviously.
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Okay, so you're primarily at Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're working on getting it out on iBooks.
Okay, cool.
I'm talking to some local bookstores around here that are going to start carrying it. We've got
Awesome.
one in Greenville, Fiction Addiction. Shout out to them.
Oh, very nice.
They're going to start carrying it as well, because you can order my book on the Ingram catalog. For those of you out there, you know what Ingram is.
Right.
You can order it off their catalog as well. So,
Awesome.
but the easiest way for just your everyday consumer to get it is on Amazon.
Okay, cool.
We got an
And I
ebook
will
and
have
print.
links to that on the website with the show. So look in the show notes for that, and we will have links going directly to the book there.
Beauty.
So make it super easy for
Yeah,
people.
I like that.
So tell us a little bit about, and I just want to get into this for a second. So there's a blog about this on the website, but my wife and I also experienced a miscarriage.
Okay.
And when I was reading through your book, the thing that just really I gravitated towards was obviously the superhero being the mother,
Yeah.
being your significant other, wife, you know,
Yep.
baby mama.
Yeah, yeah.
And what was great was how you had this. You just nailed it when it was like, you are the sidekick. You're just alone for the ride through this, and the best thing you can do. You can't have Batman without Robin.
You can't.
And so I started getting into it. I said, man, I wish this is what I would have read from the very beginning, because even just the few pages on the miscarriage,
Yeah.
when we had our I mean, like, Brandy's super sweet, never really had anything super like life altering happen to her. But when I'll never forget that whole experience. And I remember through the whole thing, no one talked about it.
Yeah.
That was so weird to me that no one would even have that conversation.
Right.
So when I was reading through there, and it was even like suggestions on like how you need to be able to go to an outlet that's not your significant other.
Yeah.
And that was crucial for me, because it took talking to a good friend of mine. We just happened to be out, and he said, yeah, we experienced one too. And I had no idea.
Right.
And but in that moment I was like, I can talk to him about this. And that kind of triggered. And when I saw that in there, I said, man, that would have been a huge for me, because I did the same thing. I went on Google.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to figure this out. And didn't exactly happen that way.
It's not exactly helpful.
No. So when I saw this, I said, man, there's so much great content in there. So if you're already a dad, it wouldn't hurt you to read it again. I've read it again, just preparing for baby number 2, because I thought it was great. I highly recommend it.